you a long way.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so we're going to do the following. We're going to do straight line, but that you've already done in grade 10. So we're not going to do this again. They're going to expect you to understand the straight line. That is y equals mx plus c. And also you've done this with the analytical geometry. So it's something we did already. Then we're going to do the parabola. And that graph looks something like that. Now in grade 11, it's going to shift to the left and the right. And then we're going to do hyperbola. And that's a graph that looks like that. That you've also done in grade 10. Remember that? And then we're going to do the exponential. The exponential graph. And that's going to look something like that. So we are not going to do the straight line. We're going to assume that you can do that already.
What if we can?
Yeah, you should be able to. Otherwise, you have to do some revision on that. Okay, first graph is parabola. All right, here we go. The equation is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So that's a quadratic equation. Now, last year in grade 10, your parabola looked something like this. It was symmetric, or that symmetry on the y-axis. And your equation looked like this. Y equals ax squared plus c or q. Remember that? Or it looked like this. Y equals ax squared plus c, or you may have used q. Now, the graph on the left, your a value was positive. And the graph on the left, your a value was negative. Could you remember that?
Yeah.
But now the graph is going to move to the left or the right. The graph is going to move left or right. And that's why we have ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, good. It's not difficult. So we need to be able to draw these graphs. I'm just going to get some stuff on my computer that makes it easier for me just to copy and paste. I don't have to redraw everything. Grade 11. Graphs. Okay, right. So let's start with some examples. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to give you a graph and then I'm going to teach you how to get the equation of the graph. So we're going to do parabola. You can make a note of this, and the equation is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, or you can have the equation looking like this. Look at this, a bracket x minus b squared plus q. And this we already did when we did completing the square in our algebra section. We learned how to complete the square and made the equation look like that. I'm going to give you a third one that's not going to be in your textbook, but it's going to help you, and that is y equals a bracket x minus x1, x minus x2. Write down those three standard equations. The only ones you're really going to use are these first two, and well, you're going to use the other one as well, but your textbook might not have that one in. So just write down those three standard equations that you can use to determine the equation of a parabola. We're first going to give you the drawing, and then you're going to determine the equation. And then after that, I'm going to give you the equation and you're going to draw it. Well, let's draw first. Maybe it's easier to draw first. Yeah. Let's draw that equation. Draw them first. Okay, tell me when you finish that.
Done.
Good. Okay, so now they're going to give you example 1. They're going to give you fx equals, let's say, minus x squared minus 2x plus 8. And they want you to draw this graph. Okay. Right. So if you can actually give me some info already without doing anything.
The graph is going to shift to the left.
Not necessarily. I'm not sure. I think the graph's going to shift to the right. What I do know is that the A value, look at this is AX squared plus BX plus C. The A value is a negative. So the graph is going to be like that sad face. That's what you look like when you're negative, Ibrahim. Okay, so I know the graph's going to look like that. Also, I know what the y-intercept is. The y-intercept is where x is 0. So I know the y-intercept is going to be 8. Okay, so let's start. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to rewrite it like this, because this is just much easier to use it. And then I'm going to determine the x-intercepts by making y 0. So to get the x-intercepts, I'm making y 0. But this is old news. You do this with every graph. And then I'm just going to multiply with a negative right through, or throw everything to the left. And then I'm going to factorize to get the x-intercepts. This factorization you can all do, right? This is like peanuts. So the x-intercept, the one is 2, or the other one is -4. So you're right. It was shifting to the left.
I was right. See, I'm
right.
ready for it.
Should have listened. Okay, so the one x-intercept is -4, and the other intercept is 2. And the graph is going to slope down or have a sad face. Also know that the y-intercept is 8. Okay, now I need to get the coordinates of the turning point. That's the second thing I'm going to do. Show you how to do that. Let me just move this graph to the right. So I can get the coordinates of the turning point by doing the following. The turning point x value is minus b over 2a. That's also called the axis of symmetry. So that looks familiar because you've used minus b plus minus delta over 2a when you calculated the roots or the x-intercept. So that minus b over 2a is where you get the axis of symmetry. So just tell me if you don't understand what I'm doing now. It's minus, and then the b value, which is -2, divided by 2 times the y value, which is -1. And that answer is -1. But I knew this because look at this, Ibrahim. Exactly the point in the middle of those two intercepts should be -1, isn't it? Because that's 3 units to the right or 3 units to the left. Okay, so the graph is going to look like this. It's going to go through there and go through there. Okay, so I know the x value there already, -1. Then I'm going to substitute this turning point x value back into the graph. So instead of x value, I'm going to write -1. That's a way I write it to put it in. So that's -1 squared minus 2 times -1 plus 8. And then I'm going to put that in my calculator or just work it out. What's that? That's 9, isn't it? So the coordinates of the turning point is -1 and 9. And there I have the graph, and that x-intercept there is 8. So I want you to dot this down. I don't understand. So there's a couple of things you need to do. 3 things. You need to get the x-intercepts, the turning point coordinate, and the y-intercept. Then you can actually draw the graph.
Okay, I understand until you got like the answer for x, right? So I understand how you got x is 2 or -4. But then I don't understand from... I don't understand.
Okay, you understand
point?
everything up to the green line?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, now there's a formula to get the x value of the turning point. It's -b over 2a.
Oh, okay, so let me write this down.
That's a formula. So that's the x value of the turning point. You could have done it manually as well, just doing minus 4 plus 2 divided by 2, and that would be -1. But that becomes
Okay, then,
complicated. That becomes
no, then
complicated.
yeah, now I understand. So
Yeah, but I want you to learn this green formula. Otherwise, this thing is going to bite you when you have difficult stuff. And then I just substitute that X value back into the formula to get the Y value. Okay, Amira, are you with me?
Yeah.
is he? So we can hear you if you're talking. I don't know.
I'm just waiting for you to tell me that you've written all of this down.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
we done. We are ready for you.
Good. Okay, awesome. Right, you're going to do the next one on your own.
Oh no.
No. G of
no.
is 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. Draw that graph. And I'm giving you a warning beforehand. You're not going to be able to factorize it the way I did. You have to find a way to factorize this.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, awesome.
Figure it out. Yeah, because you no, you can factorize it. Sorry, it's an easy one. Go. Draw the graph. You need to get the x-intercepts, the turning point, and the y-intercept.
It's not.
Get the x-intercept first or the turning point first, doesn't matter. Then you do the rest. You have 2 minutes.
Can we extend our time?
No, you can't. You can't argue. You can't extend the time. You can't win.
I'm Indian. I can negotiate.
I'm not sure if I'm right with the turning point.
Okay, so we factorize. You made the y value 0.
Yeah, then I took everything to the other side.
Why would you do that? The x value is already positive. It doesn't matter. As long as you got the following. X equals a half or -4? Did you get that?
No.
Why not?
Eish.
Okay,
Didn't
you
make
can
one
test that.
stupid- We didn't make one stupid mistake. We didn't make it negative for some reason.
Why would you want to make it negative? You never want the term in front of your quadratic x to be negative, because then it factorizes difficult. Look, you can put the 0 any side. The 0 doesn't matter where you put the 0.
You see, I wasn't sure, right? I wasn't sure. So I asked my buddy over here, Amira, and she said make it negative.
She's not your buddy. Are you
She's my
his buddy,
buddy.
Amira? You're not the buddy.
She's clearly not, because she told me the wrong thing.
Yeah. Okay. So look at this. The turning point x value is -b/2a. So that's -7/2 times 2. And that's -7/4.
Okay, that I got, but I don't know how I got that right, the other one wrong.
Well, you will get that even though you factorized wrong, because you're determining the turning point from the start again. Base formula. So now I can get the y value of the turning point by putting that value in, -7/4, into the equation. So that's 2 -7/4 squared plus 7 times -7/4 minus 4. Now you have to put that in your calculator. That's -81/8. Is that correct? Well, let's see. Because you can't just by one little mistake get everything wrong, because these things like intertwine with one another. So I have a turning point, a negative x value of -7/4. That's very small. That's like 2, not even 2, -2, and then -10. So it's there somewhere. I have a smiley face because that value is positive there. So my graph would look like that. Then this is -7/8. Over 4. And the y value is -81/8. And then this x coordinate here is 4. And this one is not 4, -4. And the other one is half. And this y-intercept is -4. There we go. It's not that difficult.
I wish I could
We
say the
fix
same.
that.
Yeah, I did corrections.
We're done.
Okay, awesome. Right. Good. So now what we're going to do now, I'm going to give you that drawing and I'm going to teach you how to get the equation. Right, let's make this bigger. Who's the other person that was in this class?
Mohammed.
Yeah, where's Mohammed?
He left for Metzlet.
Right.
Okay, there's a graph. A parabola, let's call it F. So fx equals ax squared plus bx plus c. I want to know what's the values of a, b, and c. Now let's get the equation of that graph. Now, very important. Look at this. I'm going to teach you how to do this. In this graph, I got both x-intercepts. You see that? -1 and 4. If I get the x-intercepts, I'm going to use this equation. Y equals a x minus x1, x minus x2. So I'm going to put those values back in. So that becomes y equals a, and then x minus -1 becomes +1, and x minus 4. Remember, if you've got these values in an equation, then your x values will have been -1 and 4, which is your intercepts. So I'm just putting those root values or x values back into the equation. And now I'm looking for one more coordinate. So there's a coordinate there, and that coordinate is the x value is 0 and the y value is 2. And I'm going to put that in to this equation to solve A. So the y value is 2 and the x value is 0. 0 plus 1 and 0 minus 4. So I have 2 here, and then 1 times -4 gives me -4 times A. So 0 plus 1 is 1, and 0 minus 4 is -4. 1 times -4 is -4. So now I divide that away. I get -1/2 is A. And then I pop that back in there. Therefore, y equals -1/2 times x plus 1 times x minus 4. Y equals -1/2. And this is x squared minus 3x minus 4. And this is -1/2 x squared plus 3/2x plus 2. So now my A value is -1/2. My B value is 3/2. And the C value I had from the beginning, that's the y-intercept, that's 2. Please dot this down. This is very important. This is like type 1. This is where you get the x-intercepts. Then you use that blank formula. This one, y equals a x minus x1, x minus x2.
We're writing it down.
Tell me when you're finished.
Okay.
Okay.
Almost. I'm almost done. Also, just don't make a mistake. So I'm write it properly.
You talk too much.
Sorry.
Okay, you can carry on.
You can tell me when he's finished.
Okay, I'm done.
Good. Okay, so that's the one type of graph. I'm going to show you two more. Right, let's go to the next page. Okay, look at this drawing. In that example, I've given you the coordinate of the turning point, which is 1 and 2. And I've given you one other coordinate on that graph. Yeah. So now I'm going to use this blank formula. This can be F, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use this blank formula. Y equals A bracket X minus P squared plus Q. That is your turning point formula. That's the one you got after you completed the square. So now that P value is the X value of the turning point, and the Q value is the Y value of the turning point. So Y equals A X minus 1 squared plus 2. And then I'm just going to substitute the other coordinate, 2 and -4. Now important, I'm going to throw the 2 over to the left, so I get -6 here. And 2 minus 1 is 1, and 1 square is 1, so A is 1. A is -6. And then I'm going to put that A value back in that equation. So therefore Y equals -6, X minus 1 squared plus 2. And I'm going to multiply that out. Y equals negative 6, and that, I hope you can do the following with a bracket. That's x squared minus 2x plus 1. So I have negative 6x squared plus 12x minus 6 plus 2 minus 4. There's the equation. Quickly write that down. Do you understand where I got the minus 4? Minus 6 times 1, and then I just added a 2.
Yeah.
Why did you get a minus 12? I mean, a positive 12.
6.
Oh.
Minus times a minus is a positive, and 6 times 2 is 12.
Okay, you can carry on.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. Okay, last one. The final one is one that you don't often get, but I have to show you that one. It's not difficult. It's going to become harder because they're going to mix the graphs in one drawing. You can have a parabola and a hyperbola on one. But at the moment, it's easy. Okay, now in this graph, I've given you 2 coordinates. And neither one of them are x-intercept or turning point. And then I've given you the y-intercept. So now you have to set up different equations to solve that. So the equation is going to look like this. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And we know that c, which is the y-intercept, is negative 6. So therefore, the equation looks like this. Ax squared plus bx minus 6. You're all on board with that.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to substitute the one coordinate, negative 2 and negative 6. So the y value is negative 6. And I'm going to put negative 2 into x's place. Okay, so if I take the 6 over, it becomes 0. And that becomes 4a minus 2b. So 2b equals 4a. So b equals 2a. There's my first equation. So I've made an equation and I filled in the values. I'm going to set up another equation and solve it simultaneously. There's my one equation. Just want to put that in a box. And then I'm going to do exactly the same and just substitute the other coordinate, the 3 and 9 coordinate. So the y value is 9, the x value is 3, negative 6. So I have 15 here, and that is 9a plus 3b. So 15 minus 9a equals 3b. Divide everything with 3. 5 minus 3a equals b, and there's my second equation. So I have an equation there which says that b is 2a. I have an equation here that says that b is 5 minus 3a. So I can put those two equations equal, or put them into one another, or solve them simultaneously. Doesn't matter how you want to see it. So therefore 2a is the same as 5 minus 3a. 5a is 5. A is 1. If a is 1, then b equals 2 times a, according to the first equation, and b is 2. And obviously c is negative 6. And there I have the equation. I have a, b, and c. Quickly write that.
Can you tell me where you got the 15?
Pardon?
Can you please tell me where you got the 15?
15.
Yeah.
I took this 6 over and became positive 6. 9 plus 6 is 15.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Is it going to become harder? Yes, 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 yes. Sure.
Thanks for the motivation. Done.
Good. Right, let's do another one. I'm going to teach you something extra. I'm going to give you. Okay, let's do this one. I'll show you something. I'm going to give you a drawing or a diagram. There we go. Quickly redraw that in your textbook, and they are on your book, and they're going to tell you that this equation is y equals x plus 2. So that straight line. Tell me when you're finished. Please redraw that.
Okay, I'm done.
I'm still waiting.
So this is f, the parabola. Quickly, Ibrahim.
Okay, I'm almost there. Just have to write the thing down. One second.
Okay. You're taking
Alright,
the
I'm
Mickey.
Okay, I'm done.
Good. Right. Now, I want to know what the equation of the parabola is, this one. Let's look what I've got. I've got a y-intercept there, and I've got one x-intercept there. I don't have anything else. Right. Is it possible to get the coordinate of B?
Yes.
How? B is the x-intercept of the straight line. Is that right? So if I take y equals x plus 2, which is a straight line, and I make the y value 0, I get the x-intercept. So the coordinates of B is -2 and 0. That does help a lot. Why? Because now I can use that formula, this one, y equals a x minus x1, x minus x2 to determine the coordinates or the equation of the parabola. So go. Use that equation. You've got that x-intercept B now. So now you can use that to determine the equation of the parabola, the green one. Quickly do that.
I'm a bit confused.
Okay. Right. Do you you saw this x-intercept is -12 and the one at B is -2.
Yeah.
So y equals a, x minus minus 12 becomes x plus 12, and x minus minus 2 becomes x plus 2. So remember, Amira, if you had a quadratic equation that looked like this, what would the x-intercept be? -12 or -2, is that correct?
Mhm.
So I'm just putting those back into the equation, really. So I'm taking those x values and putting them back into the equation. And now I've got another coordinate, a, which I can actually put in there. 0 and -24. That's the method. So -24, remember, you're always going to solve a equals a 0 plus 12, 0 plus 2. -24 is 12 times 2 is 24, and then a. So a is -1. Therefore, a equals -1, and then I'm going to slot back in there. Therefore, y equals -1 times x plus 12, x plus 2, and that is minus x squared. 12 plus 2 is 14, so that becomes minus 14x, and 24 with a negative is -24. There's the equation. Please write that down. I'm going to just write it here at the bottom. X equals minus, y equals minus x squared minus 14x minus 24. Those are the two equations. There's one more thing we have to learn today.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, good. Tell me when I can actually delete this. Can I do that?
Almost get it.
Almost?
I almost got it right, actually.
Oh, really?
I was further than Umira.
You're faster than Amira.
No, I went further than Umira. Like,
You're going to soon beat her in maths, eh?
you pray for me. Together
Pardon?
we'll do it. You must pray for me, then I'm going to do it. I'll work hard and pray for me.
Yeah, yeah. If you work hard, I'll pray for you. If you don't, I won't pray.
Okay, it's a deal.
Okay, now look at the following. I want to know what is the coordinates of D. How would I get the coordinates of D? First, tell me what is happening at D.
Okay. Oh, it's a straight line, isn't it?
The two graphs
Yeah,
intersect.
Yeah, the intercept. Yeah.
Okay. Wherever the two graphs intersect, you basically can take the two formulas and make it equal to one another. So I can take the straight line, which is x plus 2, and make it equal to the parabola, which is minus x squared minus 14x minus 24. Now I'm going to throw everything to the left to get that x squared positive. Is that correct? Check that out. Look at that. Tell me if it's correct.
Yeah.
Now I'm factorizing that. X. Factors of 14 that gives me 15 is 14 and 1. Plus. That's wrong.
Yeah, it's not 15.
It's not 15. What is it then? Something is wrong. I know it's wrong already.
Wait.
There is some.
Wouldn't it be?
Did we calculate this correctly? That 14 there, I think, is a problem.
It's not 15.
Is it not 15? 14 plus 1 is 15. But I think this 14 is a mistake. I just want to go back to the previous page. How do we get that 14? 12x. 12x.
Isn't it supposed to be a
isn't it-
positive 40?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see. I'm clever, bro.
No, it's not positive 14.
Oh.
Okay, minus b over 2a. I just want to check something. Minus b. What would this e coordinate be here? Exactly between -2 and -12. That would be -7, isn't it?
-2.
No, -7. 5 to the 1. And that's correct. Yeah. So I'm just trying, why is this? This is not correct. That is a big problem here. We have a problem here. So I want to check something if we didn't make any mistake. No, that's correct. That's correct. I can see there's a mistake because this mustn't be 1. This must be +2. Seven. Oh, look, there's other factors also. 14 is also 7 times 2 now.
Yeah.
But 7 times 2 doesn't give me 15. There's a small mistake here. Oh, this is the mistake. We missed it. Look at this. That 12 is a mistake. It's 24.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
So that's 24. And that gives me 26. Yeah. 24 plus 2 is 26. Factors of 26 is 8 and 3 or 13 and 2. Now 13 and 2 is going to work. That
Yes,
gives
sir.
15. Okay, so x equals -13 or -2. Now look at this. The one point where the two graphs intersect is at an x value of -2. So the b is already taken. So the x value at d can't be -2. The x value at d must be -13. See that? It's just after -12. So I can get the y value there. Why? The y values are the same for both graphs. I can put the x value of -13 into any one of the two graphs. I'm obviously going to choose the straight line. Therefore, the y value is the x value, which is -13 plus 2. And that is -11. So the coordinates of D is -13 and -11. Please write, that's very important. And then after you've written that down, I want you to determine the coordinates of E and F. I'll give you 2 minutes or 3 minutes. E is very easy. We've done that. There's a formula that I showed you today. It's got a B in somewhere. I want the coordinates of E first after you've written this down.
For E, don't we
E.
just use the turning point?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the X value of the turning point, but you also need to get the Y value. minus b over 2a.
Yeah. Simple TP. Wouldn't have been half.
Right, let's do that.
Yes, let's do.
The turning point x value is negative b over 2a. So that's, I take that parabola, that's negative, and the b value is negative 14 over 2 times the a value, which is negative 1. And that is negative 7. We did determine that just now. It's exactly in the middle between negative 12 and negative 2. So some students just do this, negative 12 and a negative 2 divided by 2. This is also negative 7. Okay, and now I can get the y value by just putting that negative 7 back into the equation. Do you have an answer for that? Damn, that's going to be an interesting value.
Okay. So you're saying how to get F?
You get 25. It's very important that you be able to do this. You get the y value of the turning point at E by putting that x value of the turning point back into the equation.
We get 25.
I just wanted
Yes.
to double check.
Last thing, I want the coordinates of F. Just check where F is. F is directly or perpendicularly straight down. So maybe you
so
already
you-
know what the x value of F is.
Will it not be the same coordinates?
It will be the same x value as E, obviously, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, same X value.
So you can start here by just saying, okay, then.
The y value will be
Oh, then you're gonna make
And now you're going to get the y value.
it, gonna make it X.
No,
You're gonna solve.
you're going to put the x value of negative 7 into the straight line.
Oh yeah.
The straight line will give you the y value. Okay, so the x is negative 7 plus 2, and that is negative 5. Okay, you have to be able to get coordinates like that. Otherwise, you're going to suffer. All right. You're gonna go to your textbook and you're going to do the exercises on parabola. And you are also going to continue with hyperbola and maybe exponential graphs. This term is kind of short. It's a long term, but the exam is soon. So we'll have to work very hard to get all the work done. There is some trigonometry to do. Luckily, we've done the number patterns already, but the trig is a lot of work. Okay, and it's difficult.
I know there's a task, and I think it's on functions also. I must just double check that.
Do we have that?